Hello, everybody, and welcome back to week 2 of 30 days of Azure AI. We hope you've enjoyed last week, which was about the fundamentals, and this week is about AI developers, like our friend Hatim here. So we'll delve into this in all those wonderful articles that you see here. But before that, remember next week is for my people, the data scientists. So a lot of fun there. And then the last week, which we're building up to, is about the workshop. So the last week is going to be full hands-on. So we're building muscle here so we can tackle that. So a lot of learnings for me, Hatim, on this one. I really, really enjoyed this week. And the first article was quite an eye opener because I didn't know we had so many AI samples. We had an AI SDK ready, and our customers could go and use all of that content ready right away. So tell us about it.
So the best part I liked about it is the SDKs which are available are not only available in one language; they are available in multiple languages. And if you see the vastness of it, you can actually go ahead and build applications using Python. You can actually build with .NET, with MAUI. So you name it, you have a sample available for it, and you can start building on it. Some of the examples which I tried myself is we had like embedding sample. We saw how you can actually go ahead and deploy your own model and generate a bot with that. Uh, then there are a few things which we try to combine multiple Azure AI SDKs and
Mm-hmm.
then use it into a single application. So for me, this repo is like a go-to thing when I want to build something,
Absolutely.
on Azure AI. And one of the things which I like about this is because it's on GitHub. Uh, Now you can actually go ahead and fork this repo. Plus, if you are stuck somewhere, just go to the discussion tab and then start discussing
That
with the
part.
other developers, right? So it's like I start with something, and if I'm stuck somewhere, just go ahead and ask other people. It's
You're not alone anymore. So you can not only get started, but you have a full community that can support. That was really, really great piece of content that I think everybody should bookmark. I actually bookmarked it as well. And what I didn't know is that one of my favorite topic as well, ChatGPT with your own data, was also there, part of that repo, which takes me to topic number 2, how to build your own ChatGPT. But before we go into this one, this is the most asked question that I get. I love ChatGPT. Now I have my own corpus of data. How can I teach it my own data? How can I train it? How can I start using it? So what we have here is a very good article that I'm showing that shows you exactly how to do it, and you have, as we said, like a GitHub repo where you can try it for yourself. And in a nutshell, this is the type of architecture that you see where you have your where we're using a dear service called Azure Cognitive Search. And for those of you who don't know, it has the capability of going through all your documents, extracting the entities, making sense of them so that they can be queryable. And then all of those insights can then be used in Azure OpenAI. So then you can start prompting your own chat GPT, and it can give you specific content as a response or as a completion. And later on we'll hear about completion. So I really enjoyed this article. And guess what, there is also a video. So if you don't have time to actually practice, there is a really nice video from Azure Mechanics where you get to see it live. Great demo. So that was a really good highlight for me on day number 2.
That's actually great. One of the things which I was also asked about is the chat gpt experience and bringing that to your own data. It's a different feeling.
Absolutely.
It's like I'm talking to my data at the end of the day. So I feel one of the things which it will change is it will add more. So we had searching capabilities before using Azure Cognitive Search, but one of the things is on how you can make more context out of it is I think beneficial for us. So it's a
Totally.
good one. Yeah.
Absolutely. So now let's talk about day 3. And this was a lot of great learning for me. I got to learn about something called ONNX. I got to see a really wonderful demo, including The Simpsons. There was even a cameo from our dear friend Rory. Hi, Rory. So tell us a bit more about this piece.
So one of the things which I started with this is I come from a background where I developed a lot of mobile applications using Xamarin,
Mhm.
and for me in the past few years I was like learning MAUI and building cross-platform applications. So now with this example and what I learned from this is how you can actually bring two worlds together. So with ONNX framework, you can actually have a cross-platform application which can utilize the features of a model either locally, or you can I tried one more thing with the sample is I tried GitHub code spaces
Mhm.
to run the sample on code spaces with ONNX in that. So this was a good experience, and I would recommend everyone to actually go ahead and try this out if you want to do something in terms of cross platform, as well as integrate all your AI capabilities from your model into your application. So that is one of the things which locally you can do it, and you can scale it to any device.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of that.
I love that multi-platform, cross-platform is that's really powerful. And please watch this video. It was from the .NET Conf in 2022, but so much relevant today. I learned so much from it. You'll have a blast. You'll see also a pristine demo. So that's the kudos to the people who did it. Moving on to day 4. This one was a challenge, I would say. I would say for me at least, there's quite a few things to learn. So already Excel add-in. The last time I built an add-in, I can't even remember for Office. But when I saw that, whatever I learned was clearly deprecated. So that was a good learning for me. But the one piece that I really enjoyed, which is learning how to deploy a model, a BERT model from the company Hugging Face, and using ONNX so that it could be deployed in Azure Machine Learning. And that was an area of Azure ML that I had never tested before. So that was great learning for me on how you could have your Q&A model that is already ready and then having it in Azure ML. So that's great usability, and it shows that you can leverage all the great models that have been built by other companies, by the communities, and have them ready on Azure ML. So for me, that was the part that I really liked that I was able to do. And then came the other part, using ONNX, using JavaScript. I heard something called Blazor. So you tell us.
So the first thing is for me as well. I When I started working as a developer, I used to be afraid of Excel, and I know how
A
to
lot of
code,
people
but
would relate.
but I know how to code, and try to code for Excel. But this sample, when I actually looked at it, it's quite simpler. And to be honest, same thing. I tried this add-in after such a long time. I haven't used or built any add-ins for Excel or Word, and this actually gave me a good experience of how easy it is today to write a bunch of JavaScript code and then go ahead and deploy it on your Excel, for example. And this example specifically, so you might have used your concatenation and other stuff like
Yeah.
this. Here, the best part was you are trying to understand or trying to get the output from your model, so kind of sentiments,
Yeah.
and then bring that to the Excel. So you never thought about this before, like you know.
Not me.
So, when you talked about Blazor as well, I think we'll cover that into our day 6. But for now, I wanted to ask you, there was a new update which came to GitHub Copilot. What were your views on that?
Oh wow, that was really really impressive. Uh, so I heard about the update, and then when I read this article here, there are a couple numbers that I'm going to read to you specifically, which I didn't know. So here it says that when GitHub Copilot was first launched in June 2022, more than 27% of the developers' code was generated by GitHub. 2022. Today, on average, it's 46%. And in Java, that number is 61%. So those numbers blew my mind because I didn't know it was that much. This was the code generated by GitHub. So this shows you how Copilot is becoming pervasive. It's almost going to be needed for you to be productive as a developer. So these numbers are really really staggering. And the part that I really liked about this article is that the improvements that were added, which are outlined at the bottom, actually improved the acceptance rate. So just for you to understand, when you use Copilot, it gives you a suggestion, but it doesn't mean that it imposes that suggestion. You need to actually accept it or decline it because it's still learning and sometimes it might not give you the right answer. So, as you can see here, in June 2022, the acceptance rate was 27%, and now we're up to 35% in December 2022. So that's a huge leap
Leap.
in terms of acceptance rate. I can only imagine
Yes.
a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, this acceptance rate, how it will skyrocket through the roof. So that was a really, really good article, really eye-opening. And I also encourage you here to see specifically what were these improvements that helped us achieve those numbers. And I'm pretty sure a lot of chief security officers will be happy about that and will be testing it, because this is really, really important, like security infused in the development process. That's really brilliant. And now the last day, Blazor apps and Azure OpenAI. Now, I'm not familiar with Blazor. I wore a blazer for the occasion. But Hatim, what's Blazor?
So Blazor is a free and open source web framework, and it enables you to build applications using C Sharp and HTML. So it's developed by Microsoft. Like it's open source, but it's developed by Microsoft. So you can go ahead and learn more about it on the Blazor website. And talking about the example which we have today for Blazor apps in Azure OpenAI. So we took a concept, and this one of those examples was also included in the first article, which is completion, but using Python. Yeah. So in this article, what we will see is how you can actually use completion using Blazor and OpenAI. So for our audience to know, a completion is nothing but you have an interface available. So back then, still on Azure OpenAI, if you want to test your models, it's a good interface. Go ahead, you have a text box, you put your query in, and it will go ahead and complete your query and give you more context about it, right?
So
So
basically the answer that it
the answer, yes.
okay.
And I'll show you an example. What I did multiple ones of them. So with this example, it actually shows you on how you can actually have the OpenAI SDK go ahead and link your Azure OpenAI model with your Blazor application. Create a UI where you have a completion text box. You can put your query in, and you get the response accordingly. Okay. The example I tried is I took one PDF document on the internet, uh, copied that link of the document, and tried to prompt it inside this text box saying, I want to summarize this,
Mm.
but summarize it in such a way that I'm writing an essay for a 5-year-old kid, right?
Yeah,
So this UI, or this application which was built in Blazor, this helped me to actually create this interface to interact with my model on Azure OpenAI and go ahead and summarize the document which is present on the internet. So you see there are so many moving parts. So
absolutely.
you bring something from the internet, you take it to your Azure OpenAI, and then you actually go ahead and summarize that with the type of audience you're looking for. So that was very exciting. We tried that with multiple different ways, like how a drunk man would respond, or we tried that in so many different contexts. Also tried to ask the model to make mistakes. So it sometimes it feels in a different way. So good example to try out. The most important thing which will help you later on in the whole 30 days is when you try this example, you actually go ahead and understand how you're interacting with your Azure OpenAI service, right?
Absolutely.
And where you're utilizing it, or where you're actually implementing that. So that's one of the beauty of that.
Yeah. And I'm sure that a lot of students would have picked up on, oh, I can make it sound like students. So, oh, I can make it sound like I would talk. So, hmm,
That's
my next my next homework is going to be ChatGPT powered. So with that, we're bringing to conclusion all the 6 articles that we've had this week. I hope you've enjoyed this introduction. I hope you spent some time, or you will spend some time, looking into all of them. Great learning for us this April. Next week is going to be about data scientists, and the week after it's going to be hardcore practice. So I hope you're all ramping up as we speak. Well, with that, thank you very much. Thanks, Hatim, for
Thanks a
your
lot, Elena.
developer
Yes.
perspective, and have a good day.
Have a good day. Thank you, everyone.